This is without a net. Brittle technology. I think the only thing that gives me optimism, or one of the only things that gives me optimism about the future of life on the planet, is that as solid as it seems, the technologies that surround us are very brittle. And diversity brings strength, and that's not just a slogan. That's really true in terms of, if you have a diverse forest, there are probably systems of redundancy, or redundant systems. That redundant, there is, if you have a species with a wide diet, if one part of its diet disappears for a short or long time, it can switch to other forms. But if it only has one source, then that source disappears. It's kind of like lynx and snowshoe hare. I'm sure people have heard of that. It's pretty famous that they both go in populations of boom and bust, that basically snowshoe or the lynx basically eats only snowshoe hare. And snowshoe hare populations will go way up, and then lynx populations will follow them just with a little bit of a lag, because when there's a lot of snowshoe hares, they have a lot of babies. And then when there's a lot of babies, those babies grow up, they eat a lot of snowshoe hares, snowshoe hare population crashes, lynx population follows. So it can be boom and bust like that. Whereas again, with a wider base, one has more resilience. And I think often when it gets colder, it doesn't really get cold here. It freezes maybe a couple times a year. And at my house, I think about this quite often, that one year I woke up to the sound of water rushing, and I got up and went in the bathroom, and there was water rushing out of the ceiling because for whatever reason, they didn't put the pipes below the house where they were supposed to, but instead put them in the attic, and then didn't insulate the attic. And the pipe froze. And so I, went out, turned off the water, and, a plumber came and fixed it. And the hole in the pipe was like this big. And I've thought about this a lot, that had I not been home when that happened, my entire house would have been destroyed, because it would have been water would have been rushing out for the whole time I was on tour. And so I was thinking that a hole this big can destroy a house. And it's the same with the larger technologies, and this is true on every level, that as we have made ourselves increasingly reliant on these technologies and on global trade, it's like everyone alive relies on trucking. Well, no, subsistence farmers don't. Everyone in the industrial economy relies on trucking, and they rely on food from far away, and this is all and shipping also relies on computers at this point. So a computer glitch or a computer virus, something that doesn't even exist in the real world, something that's only code within, something that's merely bits and bytes, could we are reliant on that for food. And that strikes me as both an unwise way to live, and also as a source of optimism for the future, because this brittle technology can't last. The real question is whether given what this culture has been doing, bathing the world in endocrine disruptors, neurotoxins, just destroying the world as quickly as it can, I'm surprised the world has lasted this long. It's a testament to the resilience of life and how much life wants to live, that it's lived this long. And the only question is whether uh, it can maintain that resilience long enough for the brittleness of technology to show itself finally and decisively.